All right, welcome to Pre-Algebra. Hopefully everyone got brought over here who's supposed to be here. If you are in, what about Canada? Okay, anyway, if you are in Mr. Larson's intermediate class, you need to go to his class there. So that's really what you guys need to be looking into here. But let's go ahead and get started here. Let's see here with, come on. There we go. Cool. All right, just want to make sure that I can see what I'm doing here. All right, so we're going to get into some review of sign numbers. That's what we're doing today. This is not in your textbook. Okay, these problems are not. This worksheet, or the worksheets I'm going to do here in class, you should be getting out a separate sheet of paper right now so you guys can follow along with me. Okay. Get out a separate sheet of paper, get out a pencil so you guys can follow along with me. These problems are not that long. You can copy them down. Okay. And the idea here is going to be, I'm going to go through and review this, and I've included both the worksheets I'm going to demonstrate here in the class, and I'm going to walk through, and I'm going to do things a little slower. And I'm going to do that. And I've included these worksheets and additional ones in Google Classroom and My School Works for additional practice if you need it, if you want it. Those worksheets have answers in them. This is not homework. Today is Wednesday. But you need to have this down or you're going to struggle in all of algebra. Okay? All of algebra hinges on you knowing sign numbers really well. And so we've had a break. I graded the last quiz and we struggled a little bit. So we're going to go through sign numbers slowly and carefully today. And I don't know. And we're going to go through slowly and carefully today. So that way, come tomorrow when we start talking about the foundations of algebra, we all know what we're doing. Okay, so this is very important. This is very critical. Again, if you are in Mr. Larson's class, you need to go see him. You need to be on the other stream that's happening on this channel right now. If you are here and you are in my class and you have not yet typed your name for attendance, you need to do so. Even if you typed your name in a previous class, I wasn't in there. So you guys need to type your name in this one. I already have a good half the class logged. If you've already done it, please don't do it again. Please, I beg of you. And that's what we're going to do here. So real quick, if for some reason my internet decides to drop out because it's already done it once today, the joys of being on Wi-Fi and not being able to run a cable. Anyway, because my kids. That's why I can't run a cable. Anyway, so because of that, I'm stuck on a less than fully reliable connection. Hopefully it stays. But if not, just hang tight on this stream. I'll just pick it back up where we left off. Okay? So just mentioning that there. Speaking of which, I need to turn off auto stop. So that way, if it does stop, it doesn't kill the stream. All right, so if suddenly you get a bunch of buffering, it might be on my end. I'll try to let you guys know in the chat if I have internet. All right, so let's get right into this. This is, again, not something you have in front of you. It is available for download on Google Classroom. You can see the answers and things like that. Again, this whole thing is meant to be a review, and so here we go. All right, so ignore the title of this worksheet. That's just how they worded it. I don't know what an integer strategy is. It has to do with their tutorials, I guess. So I'm just going to get into it here and work with it this way. All right, so in this first problem, we have 14 minus negative 16, okay? So remember in class, we discussed that subtraction doesn't actually exist. We have to make it addition. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 14 plus positive 16. We're going to change this operation sign and the sign of the second number. Oh, goodness, I swear that's a plus sign. This is why we don't do math in pen. I'm trying to use pen so it's a little clearer to see on the screen. So we have 14 plus positive 16. Now, the key here is you have to change the second sign, not the first. I saw a couple people on the quiz try to change the first sign. You can't do that. It does matter. Okay, so we're distributing this negative, basically. And so that ends up 14 plus 16. We know that's 30. That makes it pretty straightforward to do. I wish I had a marker laying around. Let me see if I've got one that I can use, because if I can use a marker, I can hold the pen back a little more. and then it's easier for everyone to read. Unfortunately, I didn't bring home everything from my classroom because I didn't think I would need it. That's annoying. Okay, well, y'all are stuck with it. All right. This next one. 34 plus negative 30. This is the same as 34 minus 30 is the way that works. We get 34 plus negative, so our signs are different. This is already set up properly. Let me word it that way, because that's the way we word it in this class. This is already set up properly, so we have the addition of unlike signs. Because the signs are different, we're going to subtract. 34 minus 30 is 4. And then the bigger sign wins. The bigger sign in this case is positive because 34 is greater than 30, so this becomes positive 4 or simply 4. Looking at this next problem, this negative 10 will stay put exactly as is. Then we need to change subtraction to addition. If I change one sign, I must change the other. And now I'm adding unlike signs. I'm adding positive 43 and negative 10. Or negative 10 and positive 43, doesn't matter. So first step is to subtract. Okay, I have unlike signs. Okay, so we take off to the side 43 minus 10, and we know that that's 33. Okay, because that's 33, then we need to look at which side's bigger. Okay, is the negative bigger or the positive bigger? Well, positive, so my answer is just 33. On this next one, we have 4 plus negative 45. This is already set up properly, okay? So we have unlike signs, okay? And so we have 45 minus 4, and we get 41. And then we look at which one's bigger. Is the positive bigger or the negative bigger? Well, in this case, the negative is bigger, so this becomes negative 41, and that would be our answer, okay? Again, if it's not addition, we make it addition as far as if it's subtraction. And then if the signs are different, we subtract. If they're the same, we add. Okay. And then we look at the sign at the end. Okay. So that's why it's negative 41. 21 minus negative 29 here. We're going to deal with this subtraction becomes addition. If I change one sign, I have to change the other. Okay. And so now I have plus 2 things with the like sign, so I'm going to add. Okay, this becomes 50. Right? Yes, okay. And I'm just going to make sure I didn't do anything boneheaded. Yep, okay. This is 50, and since everything's positive, I know my answer is positive. Now on this next one, I have 35 times negative 33. Now we've talked a little bit about multiplication and division, so let's get into this. The first step here is we're going to just off to the side do 35 times 33. So 35 times 33. And I'm going to completely ignore the negative for now. Okay, so I have 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Now, because we're going to multiply 3 again, or by 3 again, I can just copy that 105 just one space over. Okay? Then when we add, it becomes 5, 5, 1, and 1. So we have 1,155 as our answer. Okay? And we're just going to kind of do something like this so it's clear that that's part of this problem. All right, so I have 1,155, which is correct. But now I look at my signs. Are they the same or different? Well, if they're different, it's negative. Okay, so we get negative 1,155. Okay, again, make sure you're copying these down. Make sure you're paying attention to this. Just about everyone needs review in this area. There are only a couple hundreds on that quiz that we had just had over this right before the break. So make sure that you have your stuff down. Whoops. Sorry. Let me just whack the camera. All right. Now, this is a minus sign, okay? If you ever need to know, if this is ever not a minus sign, there will be parentheses if we mean multiplication that way, okay? So if there's no parentheses, this is a minus sign. So we have negative 25, changes subtraction to addition. If I change one sign, I have to change the other, okay? And so that's what we get. We get negative 25 plus negative 3. Now, First things first, this is addition. Okay, so we're set up properly now. Are my signs the same or different? Well, they're the same, so I'm going to add. So we have 25 plus 3 is 28. And because my signs are both negative, it's minus. It's negative 28 is the answer. And again, this is the analogy of if I owed $25 and then I borrowed 3 more, now I owe $28. Okay, that's the idea. We get more in debt by continuing to borrow. All right, negative 41 minus 14 is the same idea. First of all, make it addition. So negative 41 plus negative 14. Okay, I have the same sign, so we're going to add. This becomes 55. Both signs are negative, so it's negative. All right, negative 6 plus 27. Okay, this is already in the correct format. My signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. 27 minus 6 is 21. My positive is bigger, so this is positive 21. That's all we're doing. Yeah, when in doubt, make it money, and then it'll make it a lot more sense for some reason. I don't know why money just triggers instinctively in our head what to do, but it's perfectly valid. Even if it's not money, you can think of it as money. All right, let me see here. Let me make sure I've got everyone who's marked their name in attendance. I am still missing a few people. So if you have not yet put your name in the chat for attendance, please make sure you do so. I'm still missing 5 people from class. So make sure that you've marked that. Okay, again, make sure you guys are copying this as you go. This is practice for you guys. I would normally be like maybe assigning some problems for you guys to do on your own and things like that. I can't do that right now. So obviously, there's no way for me to really get that back. So just make sure that you guys are participating, you are paying attention, you are following along. Again, if you want more practice with this concept, which would be a good idea, again, you don't have to re-put it if you guys already put your names in, just because I'm seeing some people repeat themselves. I only need people who haven't yet done it. All right. But anyway, just the idea here is you guys can always download them and get more practice yourself. But I want to go through and make sure that we're all on the same page of how to do this, because that's the important bit. All right. I have now negative 13 and negative 32 being added together. Well, this is already in the correct form. I have addition of 2 side numbers. Okay. They're both the same sign, so we're going to just add. This becomes 45. Okay. Now both of them are negative, so it just becomes more negative. And there we go, that we're done. With this problem, we have 46 minus negative 45, or plus, if we change the subtraction to addition. And if we change one side, we have to change the next sign, 45. Again, notice I'm changing the second sign after, or the sign of the second number. It's not the sign of the first number, it's the sign of the second. Now, this is just a regular addition problem because I'm adding together 2 positives, and this becomes, for some reason in my head, it's not wanting to do it, so we just add. There we go, 91. Okay, if you guys ever need to do the addition, multiplication, whatever, off to the side first, please do. Okay, I just don't normally show it because that's not normally what we're focusing on. We have 504 divided by negative 36. Okay, so we're going to set this up off to the side. First of all, we just ignore the sign and solve. So 36 goes into 504. Sorry, 504. There's no and there. 3 goes into 5 one time. So we're going to have 1 time for 36 and subtract. This is going to become 14. Right? 4, we borrowed 1, 4 minus 3. Yes, okay. And we bring down the 4. So 36 then goes into 144. That ends up being 4 times. Okay. You would do 40 into 12. Kind of gives you 3, but 3 wouldn't be enough. You'd come back and do 4. I'm doing this in pen, so I can't show the mistake. So 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12, plus the 2 we carried is 14. And there we go. Okay, so this ends up being 14. And because I have or I don't have the same sign, it's negative. Okay, if the signs are the same, it's positive. If the signs are different, it's negative. for multiplication and division. Here we have negative 48 times 48. Well, we still just do 48 times 48. Oh, goodness, this is hard to... Okay. And when we do that, 8 times 8 is... It's 64, right? Okay, before I write this down. Yes, okay, just making sure. Sometimes it's the little things. All right, 8 times 8 is 64. 4 times 8 is 32. Plus 6 is 38. And then we're multiplying by 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 3 is 19. Adding together our partial products, 4 plus nothing is 4. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 plus 9 is 13. Carry the 1. And we get 2,304. And then we look, are our numbers having the same sign or different signs? And of course, they are different, so we end up with a negative. Okay, that's all we do. Moving on to the next one, we have negative 47 times 42. Okay, so we're going to take 47 times 42. And we just multiply like normal. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. And yeah, I still almost tried to write the 8. 4 times 7 is 28. And 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 2 is 18. So we get 1,974. And then the question now is that positive or negative? I'll let you guys think about it for just a moment. And the correct answer is it is in fact positive. We have the same sign, so the negatives cancel. Cancel may not be the right word, but the negatives go away. All right, this next problem, we're back to an addition problem here. It's already set up properly. We have unlike signs, so we're going to subtract. So 49 minus 19 is going to be 30, okay? And the bigger sign is positive, so this ends up being positive 30. Just seeing it in chat, 2 negatives make a positive in multiplication and division. It's very important. You have to have that qualifier on there. But in multiplication and division, yes. If the signs are the same, regardless of what the sign is, it's positive. If the signs are different, regardless of what the sign is, it's negative. I guess if they're different, you only have 2 choices for signs, but oh well. All right. You have negative 41 and negative 30. This is already in correct form with addition. So these are the same signs, so we're going to add. So this becomes 71. And just kind of draw a line around that. So we have 71, but both these are negative. This is addition, so it just became more negative. Okay, so in addition, 2 negatives added together become more negative. In multiplication, it becomes positive. You have to pay attention to which operation you're in. Uh, 24 divided by negative 12, the first thing we do is divide, and that is clearly 2. And then if the signs are different, we have a negative. That's how we handle that, because it's division. 28 times 10, there's no sign in sight, which means both these are positive, which means our answer will be positive, hallelujah, because that never changes. So we get 280. If you're multiplying by 10, you just slap a 0 on the end. Technically, you're moving the decimal. We're not getting into that. All right, so that was nice and easy. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one. We have 16 minus 30. Well, we can't work with it like that, so we have 16 plus negative 30. Again, it's very important that you change the sign of the number after your operation, not at the beginning, okay? So we get 30 minus 16 because these are different signs, and so we get 14. And then since the bigger one is negative, we have negative 14 as our answer. All right, a couple more people have checked in. I'm still missing 3 people, so make sure you get that signed in, just that you were here, so I can mark you guys as present. But let's go ahead and move on to the next problem. We have a negative times a negative. That's going to give us a positive, okay? So we have 48 times 4 gives us 32, and then 16 and 3 is 19. So 192 is our answer, okay? It's positive because we have negative times a negative. Here we have a negative times a negative, so it's going to be positive. 25 times 2 is just 50. All right, you can start kind of telling that this is a randomly generated worksheet because 50 divided by 50 is 1, because anything divided by itself is 1. So that made it easy. Man, I wish the focus on this camera were just a little better. Oop, wrong way. Kinda? I don't know. All right. We have negative 16 plus negative 9. Okay, so we have the addition of like signs. So we're going to go ahead and add. So we have 16 plus 9. That gives me 25. Okay, so we have 25. And because we added the same sign, the sign just stays put. So it's negative 25. We have 210 divided by 6. So we start out just by, first of all, doing the division. Actually, we can just look at this. They're both positive, so our answer is going to be positive. All we need to do is do the division. So 6 goes into 210. Well, 6 goes into 21. Closest would be 18, which is 3. So 3 times 6 is 18. We're going to subtract, and we get 30. And 6 goes into 35 times. And so we get 35 as our answer. I should be checking more frequently about my answers. I am just making sure that I didn't do anything completely boneheaded, because every now and then one sneaks through. Okay, looks like we're good. In college, I would get a test, and I would do like lines of calculus perfectly and then mess up the arithmetic at the end. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly and not misleading you guys. All right. So we're taking 418 divided by 19. We have a negative and a positive, so our answer is going to be negative. We know that already. So we're going to go ahead and put that answer in there, or that negative in there. And then I'm going to do 19 goes into 418, and I did not leave myself enough room to write. Oh well. 20 goes into 42 times. 2 times 9 is 18. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So we get 41 minus 38. We get 3. And we bring down the 8. All right, well, we know 38 is 2. We can multiply by 2 again. And that will leave us no remainder. So we have negative 22 as our answer. Okay. You might say, how did you know it was 2? Because I just got 38. All right, sorry, I know that's squished. I should have done it over here. All right, we have 9 times 22. These are the same sign, so it's going to be a positive answer. We have 22 times 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Carry the 1. 9 times 2 is 18, 19. So 198. And again, it's positive because I have a negative times a negative. And if my signs are the same, it's positive when I'm multiplying. Oh, there's one more student just showed up. Or just typed in. I shouldn't say just showed up. All right. 17 times 32. We're going to take 32 times 17. It doesn't really matter which way you lay it out. It'll work either way. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. 1 times 32 is 32. And so we get 4, 4, 5. And they're both positive, so we get 544 as a positive because that's what we've been working with this whole time. All right. What time does this class get out? 12:30. Okay. I'm actually probably just going to finish the sheet and be done. We have 2058 divided by 49. Okay, so let's go ahead and set that up. I'll try to lift this up a bit more. All right, so 5 goes into 20 because we're closer to 50. 5 goes into 24 times. So let's go ahead and do 4. Um, 4 times 9 is 36. Carry the 3. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus the 3 we carried is 19. We subtract, we get 9 because we borrow and everything. And we have 98. 49 goes into 98 2 times. Okay. And everything's positive, so we just have positive 42. Here we have negative 43 minus 40. Well, we can't work with it like that, so we take negative 43 plus negative 40. And since we have the same sign, we're going to add, so we get 83. And we keep the sign because it's addition, so negative 83 is the correct answer. Finally, 30 divided by 2 is 15. Everything's positive, so that's the end of that. All right, that's going to be basically where I leave that off. And the reason for that being, again, today was just kind of a review. I just wanted a sample of problems to throw together and talk about working with signed numbers. Again, there's a bunch of worksheets in that attachment. They're all from the same place. They're all exactly like this as far as their layout. I only did A. I mentioned A and B in the post and in my schoolworks. I only got through A. I don't really want to start B with about 10 minutes of class left remaining. So if there is a problem you would like me to re-go over or something like that, please go ahead and send me a message in chat. I'm going to stay on for about 10 more minutes. Okay. So I will be here with that. There is no homework for obvious reasons. Today is Wednesday. So that's going to be the end of that. So we have no homework today. Instead, tomorrow we will begin 3.6 Introduction to Algebra. I just wanted to go ahead and take the time to review that before getting into that section. So I'll stay here. You're just going to see the animation that says seat work, ask questions in class. Obviously, there's no seat work unless you want to download a worksheet and start on it, in which case, please feel free. We just did A. So any of the next ones after that, and they have the answers, so you can make sure you're doing it correctly. That's why I included that set. And again, if you guys have a question of a particular problem you'd like to see again, please just type it into chat, and I will come back on and go back through that if you like. All right. Past that, though, I'll see you guys tomorrow.